What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to save my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
All right, Antoinette, unmute yourself. Hello, unmute yourself, Antoinette. Hello. Hi, how are you? I am well. How old are you, Antoinette?
I am 44.
All right, so what question are we tackling? I'm talking about happiness, and I'm also talking about boredom. Which one do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about happiness.
Okay. Are you single or are you married?
I am single.
Okay. What do you have to say on the topic?
Pardon?
What do you have to say on the topic?
Happiness is individual. You can't depend on someone else to provide your happiness. So it's kind of futile to expect a man to do that for you. So when women say I'm not happy, I begin to look at them funny and try and understand, why aren't you happy? That's your responsibility, no one else's.
Right.
If you're in a relationship with someone, you're supposed to be complimenting them and not expecting them to do for you what you should be doing for yourself.
Have you ever been married?
No, I have not.
Any children?
None.
Okay. When was the last time you were in a relationship?
About
What? How long ago? How long ago? I don't know what's going on with you. Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
I asked you how long were you in that relationship?
About a year. It was a year.
How long ago was that?
I'm sorry, that was 6 months ago that I was in a year-long relationship.
Okay. What was the longest relationship you've ever been in?
2 years.
And how long ago was that relationship?
Ooh, about 5 years ago.
So you're telling the ladies that happiness is your responsibility, which I agree. But you're unmarried, no kids. Did you ever want to get married?
Absolutely, I did.
Do you still want to marry?
I do.
Okay. Have you ever been engaged?
No, I have not.
So what's the holdup? What do you think the holdup to getting married is then?
The holdup is actually me. I have no problem saying that. I have high expectations, and I realize that a lot of people just can't meet them. And instead of me kind of
Wait a minute.
accepting
Wait a minute.
them being
You have
mediocre,
high
I just rather be
expectations?
by myself.
You have high
And
expectations? Hold on. You have high expectations?
yes,
You want to share what those are?
absolutely. I'm a Christian, so I would like for my potential mate to be a Christian as well. I would like for him to be self-sufficient for himself, nothing to do with me. He's fully able
Self-sufficient
to
for
support.
himself. That
Pardon?
just means self-sufficient for himself. That just means
Yes,
that
has
he
nothing to do
can.
with me.
Okay.
Just he's living his life, doing his thing. I also expect him to have some initiative and to have goals for himself, nothing to do with
What
me.
does that? What does that
Just
mean? What does that mean?
meaning like he's not satisfied with just the mediocre run of the mill. He has goals, he has passions, he has things that make him excited.
Okay. Did you go to college?
Absolutely.
What's your degree in?
Major in sociology, minor in communication and business, and I also hold a master's.
I'm a PhD.
Um, are you making over six figures?
Not yet.
Not yet. Are you making over $80,000 a year?
No,
Over
just
six.
under that.
Okay. And what state?
Florida.
Okay. So a lot of men would hear what you're saying. And how tall are you?
5'9".
Dress size?
22.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I'd rather not say, but I am definitely a plus size woman
Dress
for
size
sure.
22 means you're about 230 pounds.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't have to say I'm an image consultant. I'm just giving you a chance because I'm listening to what you want.
Hmm.
And you say the man that has ambition and has goals. Would it be, do you think the man that would fit your lofty standards would have requirements for a woman?
Absolutely.
What do you think some of those would be?
You've said this in multiple conversations. Definitely, they want someone who is fit. And I
Mhm.
realize that's an inequity that I have. So that's why I'm not upset about my status because I'm not meeting that. And that's only fair. I'm a fair person. So how can you expect something of someone and you're not meeting that?
Well, you said that you can't find a mate because your standards are too high. And I'm going to ask you, are your standards higher than your sexual marketplace value?
I don't think so because I'm very realistic in where I sit. I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm a 7, I'm not saying I'm a 10, I'm not saying any of that. So I know where I am. That's
What would you rank
why
your,
I
what would you
can
give
sit
yourself? What
back.
would you rank yourself?
Pardon?
What would you rank yourself?
Right now, because of me being a realist, I'm probably a 5 at best. And a lot of that has to do with my weight. And I
Okay, what would you rank
recognize that.
this your looks? How about your weight to the side? What would you rank your looks? Fresh face out of the shower, no makeup, just you.
I would say I'm about a 6.
Okay. So go back to what you said. The reason I can't find someone is because my standards are high, are pretty
Yes,
lofty. Um, but you don't think your standards exceed your perceived sexual marketplace value by men.
correct.
Yeah, they do. The things you're talking about you want from a man is a provider male. A man that's, I'm assuming you want a man who's making at least what you're making or more.
Around that, around that, yes.
Okay, but
But I'm
you're
not.
making right around 60, right?
Yes,
All right, ma'am. Okay. I need you to listen to what I'm about to say. A big part of the issue today with women is you guys have used these careers and these degrees and this perception of the value of it, but where it matters is where it gets in the bank. So you could have a master's or whatever, but you ain't making master's money. At 44, you've pretty much you're topping out on your income. Okay, that's just what it is. Um, you already talked about the weight issue, and you got to be realistic that a man with ambition is going to want a woman that's going to be fit, and that is something that you have every bit of control over.
right.
So it's not because of your standard. I could make the argument that you're just lazy when it comes to being fit for a mate.
Hmm.
Because you do have control over this. But what do you, if you had to give yourself a out of 100%, what do you think the likelihood that you will marry in your lifetime?
Oh, 30%.
30%. When you reach 50, what do you think that percentage would be if you're still unmarried?
15.
So you have 5 years before it goes from 30 to 15%.
Hmm.
What are you doing to make sure you get married in the next 5 years? For
Actually,
the kind of man you're
actually,
talking about.
what I'm doing is when you think you're doing something correct and it's not giving you the results that you want, you gotta look for information. And I've learned a lot by listening to your program and other people who have similar views. And I stepped back and I said, you know what? It's not wrong. So I'm in the process of fixing some things. And
What
the way
exactly are
the
you doing?
first pardon,
What are the top three things you're doing?
um, looking for another job, uh, weight, actually creating a weight program for me to stick to and actually achieve realistic goals that I've set for myself. So I'm giving myself about 18 months to get to the number I think would make me healthier. And I think 18 months is a realistic time period for
Mhm.
me to
What's the
get to
other
the
one?
weight that I
What's
want to
the other
be.
one? What's the other thing?
And the last thing would be kind of just investing in myself through counseling, like actual one-on-one counseling,
You got a
so that I
counselor?
can
You
work
got a
through my
counselor?
own personal issues.
You got a counselor or a therapist?
I am looking for one.
Okay. So, ma'am, I'm going to be honest. Job, that means nothing to a man. Weight, you're not in the gym. You're not working with a personal trainer. You're not doing anything. So you're fitna. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm about to. I'm getting ready. I'm gathering information. And I'm going to talk to the ladies. This is one of y'all biggest problems. Y'all, you guys don't do shit. Y'all just sit and listen to what tickles your ears. And then no counselor. And then you say you're going to give yourself 18 months when you said you have less than 5 years before your marriage prospects decrease by half. Ma'am, you're going to die alone. I mean, you said that happiness is your responsibility, not the man. I'm glad you said that. And this is your responsibility too, because
Mhm.
information, how many times do you need to hear me say men want fit women before you become a fit woman?
Could you repeat that last statement
How
again?
many times do you need to hear me say men want fit women? How many times do you need to hear men say men want fit women before you choose to become a fit woman?
Um, Remember how you said, "What are you doing to make this happen?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like most people. I just discovered you within the last week and a half.
Well, that's
So
fine, but
this is
ma'am,
new information.
but due respect, ma'am. You live in Florida. That's not Mars. You know men want women that are fit.
Mhm.
This is a new information. We're roughly the same age cohort. So, are you? Can you honestly say you're really doing the work, or or is the work too much at this point?
Oh no, I'm doing the work because, like I said, happiness is for me. And I know that
Mhm.
I would be personally happy with me, not even considering a man, for me to achieve my personal fitness
Oh, so
goals or
you're
me to
okay.
look.
So you're okay. Okay, but happiness is for you. But we're
Mhm.
starting contact relationships. So when you ladies start talking like this, I immediately bristle because now you're diminishing the outcome. It's like, well, who needs to graduate with a 4.0? A 3.5 will do. No, there's no reason. How about you lower your standards? How about that? How about you lower your standards in a man?
I don't, well, the standards that I have, I don't think they're like excessive.
Yes, they are. Is the average man ambitious?
I
Is the
I don't know.
average person ambitious?
Well, then I would have to say no. Well, then that
Okay.
must mean
All right, man. But if the average person isn't ambitious and you're average, or would you say you're above average? Now, you said you gave yourself a 5, right?
mhm,
I think that's optimistic. I think it's very optimistic. So, if you're even what you say you are, why do you get somebody who's ambitious when there is nothing about you in your life today that's ambitious? It's average.
interesting.
I'm trying to understand, why do you think that's interesting? You've had the longest relationship you had was 2 years. You had a relationship that's 1 year. You're 44, no children. You got a bachelor's and a master's. You're making around less than 60 grand a year, and you're 230 some odd pounds. That's a lot. And then you say, I want a man who's ambitious, who has goals and is driven. And I'm like, well, you can want that, but but can you afford that with your sexual marketplace value? You said your goals, your asking price doesn't top your sexual marketplace value. I think what you're asking for is about twice what your sexual marketplace value is.
And I can definitely understand what you're saying from, what you believe. All I'm saying is, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would be settling, and I'm not willing to do that.
Ma'am,
So,
I need you to understand what you just said.
mhm,
Why would any woman, not just you, any woman that's middle age, 230 some odd pounds, getting a man who is average, why would that be settling?
the ambition part is what I'm talking about when I say settling. It's
What
not the
does he
finance
need to
part
have?
because,
What does he need to have ambition for? Maybe that's a better question. What does he need to have ambition for?
well, like for me, I believe in generational wealth and planning for the future. So that's something that, you know,
You have no
not a
children,
lot of people
ma'am. You
talk
have no
about.
children. You have no children.
That's true. I don't.
Where are the kids going to come from?
Pardon?
Where will the children come from?
Would probably be adoption at this point.
Man, generational wealth is a buzzword. You have no generations, right? You have no children.
That's
Do you
correct.
plan on giving birth to any children?
Well, science is not on my side, so I'm a realist.
I asked you,
So,
do you plan on giving birth to any kid? So what I'm hearing is you still hold. And see, when I was going to do HBO, the last O was not going to be omnipotence. It was going to be optimism. And ma'am, you've painted an overly optimistic picture. At 44, ma'am, you're still holding out hope that you can get married and have kids, right?
no, I've come to the place where I don't think that's a reality.
How
I've
long?
been thinking about that
How long has it been since you accepted that reality?
mm, about a couple months.
Couple months, man. Due respect, man. A couple of months at you're almost 50 years old. What month is your birthday in?
It's in July.
So you'll be 45 in July. You're almost half a hundo.
Hmm.
And you're talking like a woman in her 20s. And I'm glad you're being honest, but I'm sad. What saddens me is that I see so many women in our generation who are delusional to where they're still talking this stuff about settling. Do you make room for the fact that a man would have to settle for you?
You know, it's a possibility simply because life is about choices and we have to choose
Well, I
what we
mean, when
want.
I say settle, what I mean by settle, because you're five, what again? Five tall, 5'9", 5'7"?
5'9".
Okay, man. Okay. If black men were snapped away from the earth tomorrow, poof, all gone. Every trace of black male DNA is gone. What do you think your marriage possibilities would be now?
If there were no black men.
Yes, no black men, none, none
Well,
exist.
realistically, from the information I've gathered, it would probably be like zero.
Okay, so the 30% number is because of black men.
Mhm.
So you think black men's standards are lower than other men? Well, mathematically, that's what you just said.
So I don't want. Well,
I'm just asking because what I'm asking is, you said I got about a 30% chance, and at 50 it drops to 15. I'm like, okay, cool. But what if I snapped and all the black men are gone? All the black men are gone. Just then you say my chances today. Where does that 30% go? You said to zero.
well, I'm basing it on the information that I've read, where they said that of all the population of women, black women are the least likely to be selected.
Okay, we're talking
Um,
specifically about you. We're talking not all the statistics, but do you have ambitious non-black men approaching you for serious relationship?
could you repeat that last
Do
part
you
again,
have
please?
ambitious non-black men approaching you for serious relationship?
To be honest with you, I really don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I guess the question I'm ultimately asking is, do you think black men, do you think a black man who's at your desired level would accept you, but would a white man, Hispanic man, Middle Eastern, or Asian man at the same level of that black man, would he accept you? Would any one of them accept you?
Mm, I don't. Not at the same level. I don't think so.
Whose level is the lowest?
Pardon?
Which race of men's level would be at the lowest?
Asian?
You think an Asian man would accept you before a black man?
No, 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 no. I thought you said the other way around.
No, no.
The
Whose level is at
lowest.
the lowest? Meaning, who would be most likely to accept and least
Oh,
likely
who
to
would be the
accept?
most Hispanic? Probably.
Hispanic men will more likely accept you over a black man.
Mhm.
No. Hispanic men in general, the culture is very family centric. And women get to be around your age with no children, the family, the generation. And see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to have a conversation that everybody can use. And you came in saying some things that, hey, happiness is not on the man. And it sounds good. But I know what women are going to say. Okay, well, what are your relationships? And you don't have any relationships, really. And then that's fine. Life happens. But then you start talking about you would like to be in a marriage. And then you said the reason I'm not married is because of my standards. And ma'am, your standards are astronomical compared to your sexual marketplace value. The more we've talked, the more sure I've become the fact that you got a G wagon. You know what a G wagon is?
No.
A Mercedes SUV, the
Oh,
square
okay.
ones.
Yes.
Things like $250,000, right?
Hmm.
People are paying $100,000 over sticker to get one in high demand. You got a G wagon kind of expectation, and you're like a Honda Accord, and you don't see it. That's why I changed the races of men, because you said I feel like I got a 30% chance of getting married today when 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime. And you already know you're 44, you're as tall as you are, you weigh what you are, what you do. You already know these things. So that, if you were being realistic, like you said, that should really have lowered your number to about 10%. But you have to believe, because at this point, I get it. That's all y'all got left because you're not doing the work. And then I said at 50, what does it go down to? About 15%. Now, at 50, it goes down to almost zero. And you know why I say that? Because if I just simply switch the race of men, the truth comes out. I'm saying this so you can understand that, man, if you want to have a different outcome, you're going to have time to put yourself on an 18-month timetable. You'll have time to finish. You need to do that today, tomorrow. You need to start this tomorrow. And you need to lower your expectations to match where you are. All those things need to happen. The job, not so much. The weight, the counseling, and then lowering your standard to match what you are. And see, we tell men to lower their standards all the time, but women are told to aim for the stars because y'all don't want to settle. And it just confused the hell out of us men to why average women don't want to settle.
This was a sobering call. Kevin didn't yell. He didn't shame. He just laid out the reality in plain terms. And that's the part that makes people uncomfortable, because the truth was never cruel, only clear. Antoinette is 44, no children, never been married. She admits she weighs over 230 pounds, makes less than $60,000, and says she wants a Christian man who's self-sufficient, goal-oriented, and ambitious. Now, there's nothing wrong with having preferences. The issue is when your preferences don't line up with your actual market value. Kevin asked the hard question, are your standards higher than your sexual marketplace value? And deep down, she knew the answer. That's where the delusion comes in. She says she's doing the work, looking for jobs, thinking about therapy, planning to lose weight, but none of it is active. It's all in theory. And in life, theory doesn't move the needle. Execution does. She's waiting for a high-value man, but her life isn't structured to attract one. That's the disconnect. In Stoic terms, this is the danger of living out of sync with nature. If you're 44, single, and struggling to progress, you don't get to pretend you're still choosing. You're now in the category of being chosen or being overlooked. The car analogy stung, but it was fair. A woman in her 40s, out of shape, not financially stable, and still holding out for a top-tier man is like someone walking onto a dealership lot, asking for a brand new G-Wagon, but only qualified for a used Honda Accord. Wanting something doesn't make it reasonable, not when the market says otherwise. Modern culture teaches average women that they should never settle, but it tells average men to accept whatever they can get. That imbalance creates resentment, loneliness, and endless disappointment. Kevin wasn't trying to be harsh. He was trying to wake her up. And the real tragedy, it's not the weight. It's not the income. It's not even the age. It's the belief that someone exceptional is still coming.